I'd like to say welcome to OneNote. Welcome to my friends in Ed 565 at Arcadia University. This is a tutorial on Microsoft OneNote as a teaching tool. And if you have access to Microsoft Office 365 in your school district, this tutorial will help you to get started using OneNote with your students and in your classes and see the different features that are involved. I've embedded some videos that if you have just the PowerPoint, you can click on those videos and have explanations, and I'll kind of narrate through that today for this presentation. But Office 365 has lots of wonderful apps. We're going to focus on OneNote today. And what is OneNote and how can it be used in grades 4 and above? I think it's possible to use OneNote in grades lower than grade 4, but it definitely works well with students in grades 4 and above. I've used it with students in grades 4 and above, and they're able to navigate and do all the things that we need to do to have it be successful. Certainly the older kids are really quick at picking this up. It's a digital notebook, so it is a complete notebook. It can be used to store information from the students. It can be used to disseminate information to students, and it can be used for both. It can also be used as a collaboration tool, which we'll talk about soon. Teachers can see the work of all their students in one place. Assignments with text, image, audio, video, and internet links can be delivered to students or uploaded by students. Collaboration pages allow students to work together to build understanding and communicate with each other. We'll talk about that. I've included, as I said, tutorial videos to help facilitate your understanding. So if you just have the PowerPoint, you'll have access to basically the same information. First, setting up a class in OneNote. Teachers set up a OneNote notebook, then they invite students. You can also invite other teachers as well to view it. So I'm going to play the video and I'm going to narrate through. But these are all of the apps available on Office 365. The one highlighted in purple is what you would use to access a notebook that's been set up already. To start a notebook, you're going to click Class Notebook, and then you're going to create a class notebook. And the first tab is just naming your class. So if you were in middle school and you taught a science class, even if you teach 3 biology classes, you can give them all slightly different names, of course, period 1, period 2, period 3. If you're an elementary teacher, you can just type in your name, Mr. Smith's class. That's what I do. I type in Mr. Seidlinger's class. This just shows you what's already in the notebook: a collaboration space, a content library, and then all of your student notebooks. Next is the tab for allowing other teachers to view it. So you could have the specialist, the art teacher, the music teacher. You could have the special ed teacher have access to your OneNote so they can see what their special ed students are doing. Could be anybody. Now's where you invite the students. In my district, you're going to just start typing in the last names of each student, and they're going to pop up. Their student ID is going to pop up just like it would with email, and you're going to invite all your students. It's just going to take a few minutes. This is what is standard. You can click those checks if you don't want a tab marked handouts or a tab marked homework. You can just get rid of those. Down below, you can completely set up your notebook right at the beginning by adding all of the classes. So if you're an elementary school teacher, it might be easy just to type in the different classes like science or reading. And you can set up all your classes. This is a view of kind of what it's going to look like when you see a completed notebook. And then you're just going to click Create, and it's going to take a few minutes, and then basically you're going to be in business, ready to go. And the notebook will be viewable by the students. They're going to go into OneNote, or they'll go into their OneDrive and they'll just click Shared with Me. and they'll be able to see Mr. Smith's notebook or Mr. Seidlinger's notebook or whatever. So there's different sections as we talked about, and we can see the graphic there, and we saw that when we set it up, we added some sections on our own. But can be created in every student's private notebook, and you can also push down different sections to different students. For the most part, you know all the students are going to have access to the same sections. As I said, they can be created when you're initially setting up, but they can also be created later on. So if you say, oh, geez, I forgot about writing, you can go back and set up the writing section. Um, Later on, you might have a special project that you want to have in a different section because maybe it encompasses, you know, writing and social studies together, or whatever. So you can set up a tab for a special project as well. There's content sections and collaboration sections. The content sections, you can set it up so that the students can just view things and they can't alter it. You can set it up so that they can respond on some of the pages. And you can also set up collaboration spaces where all the students have access to one page and they're all typing on the same page. And again, you can add those types of things as you go. Um, and as I said before, when you're creating the class notebook, you're going to click on class notebook. That's going to be your setup tool. After things are set up, you're going to access it by clicking on the OneNote tab. All right, this is content part one because I have a little video next. But the content sections, teachers can disseminate information to one student, groups of students, or an entire class at one time. So you might have reading groups and they're reading different books. And so you can just give the students that need it the information that they need. Content pages can be filled with, again, everything's with text, images, documents, links, audio, video, anything digital that you want to put in there. You can do that. This is a picture of a notebook that I've used with kids, and it just shows a reading assignment that I created and pushed down to certain students, which we'll see in a second. So here's one of my videos, and I'm going to play that and just kind of walk you through it. So these are on the right, you see all the assignments I've created for several different books. And again, I've just pushed the assignments that apply to certain students to those students. And you can see my students listed up top. That arrow is a drop down with all the other students. And I've created an assignment where I want them to read a certain number of pages, respond to a question or a writing prompt, and this is all in preparation to getting together and meeting in a reading group and having a discussion. And so this is from Dear Mr. Henshaw. And the other thing is I can view what the students are doing it as they're doing it. I can see who's completed the assignment by just going to their section. I can also look at what they've typed and how they've responded, and see if there's any kind of misconceptions by students that I might want to address in the when we get together as a small group. So here you see that this student, Brian, has just a few of those assignments that I typed up on my content page. And so his Dear Mr. Henshaw assignment is to read a certain number of pages and respond to some questions. He's responded below. So why do you think Lee's mom said, please don't ask me, when he asked if she still loved his dad? You can see the response, his response below. He could have bullet pointed those or numbered them. He didn't do that, but he did respond to each of the prompts. And again, before we get together, I can look at the what the kids have, how they've responded, and use that to facilitate the conversation that we're going to have together. In social studies, I'm showing you here some notes that we've taken, and we're going to see in a moment, using the collaboration page, how we were able to decide on those notes. These are notes that the kids decided we would have for the different sections while studying the Northeast states of the United States. And here we are, a collaboration. And so I'm going to play the tutorial here and kind of walk along, but um, as you can see, there are notes on this collaboration page, and you notice under my name on the left-hand side it says collaboration space, and then there's sections that have been typed up with the notes. You can also see the initials of the students. LS is the first one in the middle of the page, ER, and LF after that. Those are the initials of the note takers in those groups. And so the kids read section 4.6 about the Erie Canal in the textbook. They worked in groups of, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 students. They pulled out what they thought was the important information about the Erie Canal. And so we were able to project this up on the screen and discuss what was similar in each group's notes. So it looks like most groups had information on the number of locks. So we might agree that that's important information. We have information on when the canal was started and how long it took to build. So again, we have these discussions on what is the important information, and the kids will had a little bit of a debate on some of the information that was in there. And together, we were able to collaborate and decide what was important to actually write down as permanent notes in our social studies section. And it was interesting as the kids did that. I'm going to go back to the content section here now for social studies, and you can see I'm going to click on the Erie Canal section, and we decided that the length of the canal was important. The width, um, part of the canal is natural waterways. The years that it was started and finished, 83 locks, um, and it connected Lake Erie with New York City. These are all of the things that the kids thought were really important, and it was again great to hear them debate why we should include certain information and why we shouldn't. As the groups were finishing up their note taking, it was fun to see them look up the screen and see what other groups had recorded as important information and continue to have discussions about what other groups did. And it was great just to hear them discussing the content and rehearsing the information. Next, we're going to look at bells and whistles at the end here. And I'm going to click go, and we're going to walk through a little bit. Here I'm showing, talking about the tabs up top and some of the other things that we can do in OneNote. We can attach Excel files. We can, if you click on file attachment, as I'm going to show, you're going to have access to any of the files you have stored on your computer or in OneNote. Class notebooks, where you would go to distribute a new section to add to your content library. As I said, if you missed something when you initially set it up, you can go to this section. And again, you can push that down to everybody in your class or just certain students. As you see, you can insert lots of different things into the pages, and the students have access to this as well. This is where I'm accessing my OneDrive for other files. Um, and the students are able to do this as well. If they have Word documents and Excel spreadsheets saved, they'll be able to access them and post them on their pages. There's a clipping tool that can be used to get screenshots. We can go online and include pictures. If I type in Erie Canal, I have access to pictures, and I can prepare maybe a presentation and include those pictures. I can do the same thing with online videos through YouTube or any other online video source. I can post links. I can also record audio using the microphone and video using the laptop's camera. So all those things are available. So those are some of the bells and whistles. I can also include some stickers to give feedback to students. and I can also include um, something like just amazing, but I can also type in more formative feedback to give students feedback on an assignment that they might be working on, and ask them questions, probing questions, try to lead them to expanding their thinking a little bit. So all those things are available through OneNote. And my last page is some helpful links. I have access to articles and websites where they discuss how to use Microsoft OneNote. And of course, I have a link to Microsoft OneNote so you can see their promotion and tutorials as well. Hopefully you found this useful and you'll be able to use OneNote. You can also email me if you have questions. Thanks.